Hybe R6 Gen 3, single-ended, stock cable, Nels Cline singers, song called Saganda. This is what I hear. Some kind of funky instrument over here. Guitar here. Something coming up here. Like height-wise. It's like a Australian and something plucking back here. In 3 dimensions. The gain is set to low on the DAP, and I'm barely at a third power. It's quite loud. The left side goes from my ear to in front of my ear and back. The center stage is very far forward. And there's something going on in this ear. But it keeps pulling you forward to center stage. Like center, left, right, center, left, right. Now something's playing, but it's more forward in the mix. It's here, but while there's something still here. We're 2 minutes in. And now it starts to get funky. It's all instrumental. Now bass kicks in. Still left, center, right. An incredible height. And now a trumpet is playing right in front of you while there's the left and right, like back here, and something behind, but up higher. And they keep mixing in stuff where it goes right, left, center, right, left, center. Amazing. Next track. And we're going to play some female vocals. So I'm going to play Enter Sandman by Young San Nam. Listen to this song. So it is a takeoff of a Metallica song. Now, microdynamics, macrodynamics, plucks, and her vocals. But between soft passages and massive dynamics. Let's go a little louder. She just started singing. You could just a huge grin. She is dead center. There's a guitar playing here and a guitar playing here. And then it kicks in around 2:22, and she starts to scream and then whisper. I hope I'm not yelling. You can't help. When she starts to scream into the mic, I mean, it sends chills. He's like, I can't do it. That was terrible. I'm glad I can't hear me. And then the guitar pulls are electric. And then what was that? At 4 minutes and 18, she does this kind of squeal thing. It's like electric eels mating. It sounds better than what I just described, by the way. But then now at the very, very end, she just gets super close. And literally you can hear her just expelling breath into the microphone. When I did the fan video, you could hear that too. These do it exceptionally well as well. So, next track. Sing This All Together, Rolling Stones. And it starts off, there's piano in the center, there's this, sounds like a bus horn on the left, and then there's something way up here. And then vocals come on. Bass kicks in, 28 seconds. But the stereophonic 3D effect is mesmerizing. We get at 2 minutes, they're doing the little, I don't know what they're called, but they sound cool. And then the electric guitar, but the height and the width is unbelievable. And not just that, in certain tracks there's this depth, but the height, the width, this is crazy. With or Without You. Come on, little U2. Let's go louder. 70% volume. Now this is male vocals. Bono. You can almost hear his vocal cords resonating. See, guitar pulls, left, right, vocals, just the right amount of weight to make male vocals sound fantastic as well. I Love Yous, Haley Steinfeld. bass, like fast. And in the mix, extremely balanced. Like her vocals, the bass, but it's not washing out the bass. And the sparklies are there. No trace of sibilance. And this is really, really loud. Probably too loud. I love my female vocals. This is just killing it. But the presentation, a little Halsey. So good. Well, that's the name of the song. But it is so good. The bass is actually very fast and thumpy. It's just beautiful, beautiful weight to for the bass. Just talking about bass for a second, if I go to Friction, the Crystal Method, where we get into, let's go up higher yet. So at .50 seconds, where the double hits, and it hits. If I go to something that plays lower, okay, if I go to Massive Attack, Unfinished Sympathy, it's hitting the lowest of the low notes, not with massive energy, but it plays the very lowest of low notes. This is stock ear tips. This is stock cable. This is the lowest. I'm using on the Hibby, it does have a class A, but I'm using it on AB. And I'm using also the lowest gain. So I'm getting as close as you possibly can get to running this off a phone, which I can't use with mine because I don't have a 3.5 out, so I have to use a dongle on my Samsung, but I'm using it to film. So this, I'm trying to get as close as possible to what's a user experience. And why I'm saying this is the new Simgot EW100Ps. They're sub $20, and it just did what my impressions told you. It just did what I said it did, damn it, to me. Anyway, did I get these to sound even better? Oh, yeah, like epiphany moment last night. So I just got in a Pen-On vocal gold and something chord, balanced. And these stock tips on the Simgot. Here's some feedback for you, Simgot. I know you threw in tips, but these barely they stick in your ear and they come off of the nozzle. They're not it's not a great tip. They only get small, medium, and large in the box. So if there was a critique, that's the one. TRN T-tips, They were made for this IM, just the way this bell shape is, and it goes so deep into my ear, and these things fit so incredibly well. Their shells are very small. Every set of ears, I think even my youngest daughter, fits. This is a huge win. So many IMs are so large that they don't fit into half of the genders, right? Or no genders. The smaller ears. I should have been more politically correct, and I apologize for my uncouthness. My ears are medium large, and they just absolutely disappear in there. First time ever for me. I was listening to music last night, and I fell asleep with these things in my ear. And it's never happened to me before because they're so comfortable when they just fit so well. Now, those were just some track impressions, real time, that I was listening to, and they were just standouts. Let's talk about this Simgot EW100Ps. Now, if you've seen one of my other videos, you'll know that I am a huge fan of the EA500. I think it's massive value. Those metal shells, the shape, the fit, and the sound. I'm going to pull up a graph here in a bit, but and just like the EA500, these little sisters do something very, very unique, and the fact that they do not sound at all like the graph. In fact, I did my listening impressions. I did all my initials and burned this thing in for a couple days. But in the meantime, I graphed it, and it was like, that's... And then I remembered back at the EA500, and it's like, well, I don't know what Simgot does to get bass out of something that doesn't look like it has bass, and something that isn't sibilant that looks like it is. This, on the graph, this does not look like a very balanced IM, but in real life, it is extremely balanced. Nothing overpowers anything else, and this is where the magic comes into play. If you had your $20 and you could buy these, you're going to get ear tips and a cable that will work for you. And I know this is kind of sometimes silly, where, you know, not everyone has a $80, $100 cable and or different ear tips, but I would, at least the ear tips, at least invest in some better ear tips, not necessarily a cable. But I will tell you that this Pen-On vocal cable, not that I shill cables, damn it, I'm just giving you my impressions that cable synergized with these tips and this IM on any source, period. Warm, neutral, cold, it was all really, really... This was shocking to me. I wasn't actually expecting this, to tell you the truth. I was expecting something much cheaper, a really cheap version of an EA500. And to be honest, you can obviously see where the money has not gone, which is the and not to say that the fit and finish is anything wrong with the EW100Ps. It's that instead of using a metal shell, it uses like a plastic two-piece resin shell, and it just has this little top plate on it. It looks like there's I don't think that's a vent hole, but there's definitely one a vent on there's two vents, one at the very base here, oh, you can't see it, and one at the nozzle. So am I going to try the little Simgot nozzle vent mod? Yeah, probably will, and report back if that did anything as well, and graph that. Wonder Wonderful I am for $20. Now, what does it do and what doesn't it do? Okay, so what it does do is bass when there is bass, sub bass when there is sub bass. Otherwise, it is, I'm not going to say take a backseat at all. It's just very balanced. Vocals are not forward, they're not recessed at all. But they are in a prominent way, and that is because nothing is overpowering on the bass and sub bass and mid bass to overpower the vocals, and there's not too much high energy that squashes anything else. So enough high-end energy to make instruments sound very, very bang on, and enough note weight on the bottom end to really get male vocals and female vocals perfect. Now, there's not too many IMs at any price point that I've heard that can do that, that can do both male and female vocals perfectly. And I would love to take these, put them in people's ears, not tell them any price, and ask them to guess the price, and just see what they come out with. As long as they have a bit of knowledge about, you can get $6,000, $10,000 IMs, and you can get $3 ones, and just see where it lands. The rest of it in my test track playlist. It didn't do anything bad, but what kept me so engaged with this IM was the fact that vocals just sounded very, very wondrous. And you guys know that I love my female vocals, and the Simgot EW100P, it does it wondrously for me. I really, really enjoy this IM. A couple super standouts lately for me that I have reviewed, again, kind of a bit of a surprise, was the Fan 2. Because every other Pen-On I listened to was too dark and warm for me, which is funny because I actually like some darker, warmer IMs. My Let's Sure EJ07Ms, my Zen's Mangled Ups, H50 ISN. These are all kind of fairly dark IMs. And the Pen-On, this for vocals, if you wanted to know what a Pen-On Fan 2 did for vocals, but without the super awesome extra slam and the and just overall level of details, this is a great starter kit. You could grab a set of these for $20 and go, yeah, I really, really love the way this thing presents. And if you do, you are going to go absolute batshit crazy on the Pen-On Fan 2. And I love the fact that this is would be a gateway to that kind of sound signature. And it was very cool to compare the two together. I'm going to do a shootout video in another one where I'm going to try and pick, in the $20 category, where you get the KZ ZVX, and I'm gonna do the Simgot EW100P, and I'll also do the Truthier Ola. And I already know that's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry flavors. But just to give a shootout and give you an idea of the three different, I think those are three awesome winners right now on the market. And the ZVX is fairly new. The Truth Year Ola in Chi-Fi world is not. But and just see where they compare. Like this will be, I already know that this will be the vocal killer. The ZVX will be the Bass Slam winner, and the Truth Year Ola it's probably in between the two. So overall impressions of the Simgot EW100P. In my library is everything. So as we just heard, some jazz, some male vocals, female vocals, rock, instrumental, weird shit. And I just love the way this presents. It is not bass head, but it does have more bass than the graph looks like. So if we punch up this graph, you can see that it looks bass shy, and it looks like it has just a really a lot of high end energy. So you would think that this is going to be a treble headish IM and very vocal forward, but that is not the way it presents. It presents way more balanced and in the mix, because there's more bass than it looks like on the graph, and there's less treble, and none of it is sibilant for me to get even at high volumes on everything stock. That's huge. The reason I'm giving you impressions on stock cables, stock tips, is because this thing is at a price point of $20, and again, at $20 to some, it's not. It's loose pocket lint. To others, it is a week's worth of saving up and getting this, and finally getting something, and you would be getting your money worth. So, not for treble heads, not for bass heads, more for neutral heads and vocal heads. And even though this doesn't hit my target curve, it is just a wonderful sounding IAM that is, again, in vocals, like jazz. Wow. Jimmy Smith, Poncho Sanchez, Oliver Manzuki, just fantastic. The drums, the hits, the instruments, the placements, the stage is, I'm not sure how, whatever driver they're using, and in this cavity, and however mojo magic they did inside of this, it obviously worked. Now, to be clear, this is not an EA 500. It doesn't get there. It gets 60% of the way, which is pretty damn good. Pen on Fan 2, again, same thing. It's doing things that at $20 it shouldn't be doing. There is a sea of scat out there, and horrible tunings. Well, I think Simgot has found their house tuning, and if this is their house tuning, sign me up, 100%. Sure loving what this EW100P stands on its own. It stands on its own, and it is swimming on top of the competitors. Really, that's how I'm summing it up. At $20, you have nothing to lose, unless you want. But if you're buying this, it's not going to be a massive bass head IM, and it's not going to shear your head off if that's what you're looking for. but right in the middle of neutral balanced, you at under $20. Good luck in finding something better than this one. Shell shape, size, hits it out of the park. But just again, the way that it replays vocals and music in a very, very natural, organic way. If very pen-on vocalist way, but kind of done the Simgot way. So this is a Tone Deaf Monk. I'm having a lot of fun sharing these impressions with you. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. I'm out.